What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Backstage Bucks County. We have a very, very special guest today. The man, the myth, the bartender. You've seen him around Bucks County. You've seen his videos on social media. One of our good buddies. He's a Hillcrest, Holland Middle School alum, Council Rock grad from Village Shires, bartender extraordinaire, Mr. Christian Duffy. What's up, brother?
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, man. So we're going to dive into all things your story. Your story's fascinating, man. We found you on social media just of people doing cool stuff in Bucks County, theme of the show. You kept popping up and you kept making these drink videos, but like in a welcoming way that didn't seem like pushy or salesy or weird. And before the show started, we were kind of chatting a little bit about your story, and it's fascinating, man. We went to the same middle school, same elementary school.
Grew up in the same town, yep.
Grew up in the
Very
same town, and you've had a great deal of success as a bartender, a hospitality expert in the Bucks County area. So take us back to the beginning, man. Tell us where this all started for you.
So I grew up in Holland, Bucks County.
Yep.
I was privileged to go through the Council Rock School District. Wasn't the best student, that's for sure. You know what I mean? Obviously, some things at home kept me a little outside of that. And then my own personality kept me outside of like wanting to study and all of that. So then when you're not a good student, you end up in a trade like this, where you're bartending and you're having some good fun. So I've been
shooting podcasts and being a musician.
Exactly.
And all
You know what I mean? You make it work.
Yeah.
You make it work, however it goes. So I've been in the hospitality industry for about 9 years. First job ever was up here in New Hope at Wild Ginger, the Asian fusion restaurant.
Yep.
Bit chaotic. You know, you're making your own soups, you're doing the salads, you're doing all this. So I learned a little bit of speed there. And then after that, I moved to Alaska. So I was in Alaska for 3 months, and it's a hard life out there. I was faced with the decision of coming home with a lump sum of money or staying broke for another month, but then kind of getting on my feet in Alaska the next month. I decided to come home with the lump sum of money. A gentleman that I met at Wild Ginger was a manager at a restaurant in Langhorne, and he gave me a serving position where I transitioned to bartending. And I guess that's where the story really begins.
Love it.
So I've been bartending for 5 years and in the industry for 9, like I said. I recently only fell in love with bartending about a year ago. I was an event manager. My dad passed away, and I couldn't fake the smile anymore. So from that, I decided to quit event management because I don't think you need to have a smile at all times to be a good bartender. All you have to do is make these guests feel welcome in your home, make them feel accepted, and make them feel comfortable. Throughout that process, I wanted to hone in on everything as a professional bartender. I wanted to get better at making the cocktails. I wanted to get better at talking with the guests. I wanted to get better with my food knowledge. So from that, I went on vacation to Alaska and wanted to stay on top of everything. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do a cocktail a day on TikTok. I'm going to post it. No one in Alaska knows me. What's the worst thing that can happen? Well, people in Alaska start asking, where do you work? Where do you work?
Wow, really?
Where in Alaska do you work? And I started realizing, okay, maybe this social media thing is something that can elevate my status as a bartender. If you're a bartender without a following, I do highly suggest you get one. You shouldn't just rely on the establishment to bring folks in.
It's a great point, man. I think that's relevant for anyone in a creative industry, whether you're a musician, whether you're a bartender, someone that's kind of off that beaten path, like we were talking about. And even more so, to take it a step further, it doesn't matter today if you're a lawyer, a banker, a mortgage broker, a real estate agent, same rules apply for you.
Right.
The age of you settling into this nice corporate 9-to-5 path and expecting that leads are going to show up at your desk every day. Companies aren't doing that anymore because they're expecting you to have a brand that you can lean on to drive leads for them.
Exactly.
And that's how they're hiring now.
You have to do some of the legwork. Within the company. So I decided to keep going with the social media. I was working at the Logan Inn. They were fond of it, and they let me do a cocktail a day there. I did it in all different aspects. I would buy a cocktail before my shift, pay for it, make it, dump it out. Right? I thought that was very respectful to the company. And then another way I was trying to respect the company. You come in, let's say you order an espresso martini.
Yep.
Be like, you want to film me making it? So it was all from the guest's point of view.
Wow, that's cool.
So these videos have been all over the place. I've done them in log cabins. I've done them behind the bar. You've had the phone. She's had the phone, right? And then now it's kind of at the point where I just want to spread positivity.
Yeah.
So I set the camera up. I make some drinks, and I just try to bring a little bit of light to this dark world. You know, I've seen some bad things. So I just try my best to share the moments with people.
It's amazing, dude. I want to get into the mindset. I have to ask you first, why Alaska?
So I have a very good buddy who moved out there about 7 years ago. He's the type that he knew around here wasn't for him. So he applied to jobs all across the world. Alaska reached out to him, and he hasn't come back since.
So the state of Alaska just said, we want you here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, if Fairbanks in specific, if you guys know Fairbanks, you know Fairbanks. Yeah, so now I go out there as long as I can afford it. I go every year, and we do winter activities. We go hiking. He has a farm, so I'll do farm chores and things like that.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
He's got a couple yaks, so Alaska's always a good draw
Who
for
doesn't
me.
have yaks? Come on,
Right?
let's
Like
be
it's
honest.
normal. It's
Yeah.
normal. So that's fun, and it always seems to be when I go to Alaska and come home, my life changes in some capacity every single time.
How so? Like, what do you mean by that?
So first time I came home, mended the relationship with my father after the 3 months.
Okay.
So that was really, really important to me. The next time I went and came back, I ended up moving out, starting a new job. And then this last time was the creation of social media for me.
Wow, man. So every time you've gone there, you've brought back like a new perspective,
Exactly.
a whole new path that kind of you can follow to elevate your brand, elevate your career.
And I gotta give Alaska credit. I think it's due to the feeling you get when you're there.
What is that like?
There's so much nature. Like here, you know, you have to watch out for deer running across the street, and you're like, why is that deer there?
Right.
You see a moose there, and it's like, oh, I'm near the moose. Like I'm in their home.
You're in their home. Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's like just a whole different feeling that you have, like you said, a different perspective that you gain, and then coming back to society and understanding. Like I just came back from a place that has 10,000 people for like 5,000 square miles. Like, I don't see nobody.
Yeah.
Right. So when I come back, I want to hug you. I want to hug them.
Yeah. You just want to embrace and be around people again.
And then like the human experience is beautiful. So,
well, it's an interesting thing because, you know, we were talking before the show, for me at least, like I'm a songwriter at my core. Like that's what I love to do. I love interacting and hearing people's stories and turning it into something that they can have as kind of a relic, you know, something tactile that they can see, hear, touch, whatever. And for you, you kind of tell the story through your relationships through cocktails. And I think it's a different take on, you mentioned something really cool, like the difference between the restaurant industry and the hospitality industry. And it's this feeling of connection and this feeling of home, you know? So did some of that spawn for you from Alaska and like just shaping your mindset of?
So I wouldn't say that was so much from Alaska, more so my dad passed away 2.5 years ago. Through that process,
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. It's all right. I didn't write the book of life. I'm just happy I get to read it. You know what I mean?
That's great advice. Wow.
Thank you. So it gets me through my days. So it wasn't Alaska. It was more so like when you see the darker sides of life and things, right? You want to make sure that like when you have this conversation, you're comfortable, they're comfortable. No one feels like they need to panic or run. So those lessons I brought into bartending. So I don't go to work. I go home. That bar is my home.
Wow.
So when you sit down at the bar, you're sitting down in my home. You're a friend. At first, you might be a stranger, but you're going to leave a friend. I'm in the business of handshakes and hugs. Went behind that bar. Like I want to make lasting connections, and I want to make sure that while you're there, whatever's happening outside that door in your actual life, we don't have to worry too much about that right now. Right now, we're just here, and we're going to have a good time, and you don't have to worry about too much because anything you say to me, it's just you telling a friend that if there's a problem, that's okay. If you're having a great time, that's also okay.
Yeah.
And that's all I want is for it to be okay.
So you're part therapist, you know, you're part kind of life coach. And I don't say this in any kind of way to like, you know, inflate your ego or anything, but it's truly that hospitality mentality. And I kind of pride myself in a very similar manner, you know, with stuff like this and also with music over playing for 20 years, you know, like when I'm on stage or we're on stage doing something, it doesn't matter if there's one person in the room or we're playing to our guitar cases or there's 10,000 people in that. I'm obsessed with creating connectivity between
Right.
and
Excuse
making
me, I'm
a
sorry,
memory.
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
How did you get over playing to that one person in the room? Because I'm sure standing on stage looking out, and I've been there. I've been the buddy in the crowd, you
Yeah.
know? So I'm just curious.
I think I did it for so long. Like when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, playing an open mic night for literally the girlfriends of the people that were in the room. We've played shows when I was in my early 20s down in Philly, like these are old venues, man, like the Manhattan Room or the Tin Angel or the Khyber Pass Pub. And there's literally been nights where other bands cancel that were like the headliner and we were playing the guitar cases. And I get so much joy just from playing and the creative release and like telling stories. The world shuts off for me. I don't give a crap. There could
just
be
doing what you love.
an explosion happening behind us. I wouldn't have any idea, nor would I care. Like if that's how it all went down for me, then I'm a blessed, very satisfied, happy guy.
I love that.
And you know, it's either to your point about being a creative person, like your outlet right now is cocktails, hospitality, and creating connection through a cocktail, creating a conversation through a cocktail, creating a relationship through the medium of a cocktail. For me, it's been songs and music. That's at the end of the day, that's what fuels and feeds me. Like connection to me is the ultimate currency.
I agree. That was so well said.
Thanks, man. It just kind of came off the top. You prompted me with the question, man. You know, because look, you can,
awesome.
at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I'm not big on legacy because I think it's a self-fulfilling thing. I'm more like to frame it as the things that I can do and leave behind that other people can use as tools. Like I have 3 girls. I'm just trying to arm them with ways that they can stay positive and have a great self-image and be confident. And if I can leave those things very authentically to them,
Right.
and saying like, hey, yeah, I did play for guitar cases for a lot of years and I slugged it out, but I knew that that's authentically who I am. So it's okay to chase something that doesn't make sense right away because you're going to become a better person at the end when there are 10,000 people in that stadium and you're playing,
Right.
you know?
I do.
So
That was awesome. Thank you.
yeah, I'm glad you asked the question,
Because
man.
it's almost like the complete inverse, but like when I have one guest at the bar, sometimes that's real hard. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes it's hard, right? Because like it's my job to find the common interest because that person could end up being a guest just looking at a bar if I don't go over, right? And they kind of just like waddle away. So it's the inverse as to where when I see one person, I almost show up.
Really?
When I see a full bar, I'm like, okay, I can.
Yeah,
do
because
it.
then you're in your mode and
You know, so it's funny. It's just funny how we deal with empty rooms in our own way.
it's unique because you and I have a very similar kind of take on that because we're the man in the arena, the man behind the bar, the man on the stage with the perspective of serving people.
Right.
So I'm curious. I've always been curious about this because a lot of times, even like right down the street, I'll go to Stella or like I'll pop into a place and I'm literally the only guy there because it's 2 PM, weird hours.
Right.
There's nobody
Reservation
there.
only. Like,
Yeah, and I'm sitting at the bar just, ordering a drink and just like a poke bowl or something. And I always find it fascinating how bartenders approach the one-on-one conversation because they don't want to be like overzealous trying to pick, for information, but they want to be hospitable and also make you feel warm.
It's a very interesting line. I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier when you're like, so you're like a therapist, a friend, and you kind of have to play that, right? Every person's different. There's 8 billion people in the world. Everyone's going to be different. No one's alike. One person sitting at the bar, they might not want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They might be there because they're having a terrible day and they need a little bit of light. They might just be there for a quick meal and they just want good service. It's very hard to figure out that game of what they're there for.
Yeah.
So I'm training a bar back at the moment, and I kind of told him, use water as a crutch. If you fill a
Interesting.
person's water at the bar, you're doing them a service. So then it's very easy to just be like, how are you today? And if that person's like, I'm fine. There might be some digging you can do. Right. And if they're like, I'm great, just popping in for lunch. It's like, okay, they're just you can banter real quick in and out and it's going to be perfect and you can leave. Or you might get that person that kind of just like looks up at you, puts their head back down, starts looking at their phone. It's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go cut limes.
Yeah.
Right. So like I use water as a crutch. I use silverware as a crutch. Anything that is so miscellaneous of the process.
Yeah.
As a bartender, you can use that as the entry to figure out any occasion
Just
that brought
to
you
read
in
the
today.
person. Wow.
So there's little tools and psychologies that you can use for sure.
It's fascinating because like I had a great experience right at Stella the other day. I'm coming to you with that in mind. It was like less than a week ago. I just had like a half hour and I knew it was going to be quick, but I'd never been there and, just wanted to check out the place. I've heard it's beautiful. It has a great view, great menu, but typically it's kind of not a white tablecloth place, but it's like
closer to fine dining for sure.
It's definitely more that than like a spot you're going to pop in and grab a drink really quick. But I had this amazing experience with this bartender there, and it seemed very authentic that he was just like trying to chat me up, but like knew his limitations. I was on my phone because I was banging out work and emails and stuff, but I also found this guy fascinating. Had a lot of tattoos like me, and you could tell he had a story to tell. And you could tell that he kind of wanted to just tell a component of it. So we found a common bond somehow through music. It just, I don't know what sparked it, but we ended up talking. He was a musician, lived in Lambertville, had toured a lot. And so by the end of it, I like had to cut us off because we were just chatting it up.
Man, I got to go.
Yeah. It's funny because you made that comment before, even with the drinks, like, people will come in for one cocktail, but you're leaning into
hospital. I'm a hindrance on these people.
By the end of the thing, they're leaving their 3 drinks in because they're just vibing with you.
Yeah, it's that. And like, I get so excited behind the bar, right? Like if you sat down at the bar, it would be really hard for you to leave. And I'm saying that as you, like now I know you a bit and it's we would have such a good time. And then especially if someone comes in and they're like, I think I've seen you on social media, then I know they're going to want to try cocktails and all this, but I might give them a little sample of something because our beverage manager, Wheezy, so much credit to her. She's an evil genius. So I'll be making one of her drinks on service and I'll be like, oh, wait, but you have to try this. And then they're like, oh my God, that's so good. So then they order that. And then now we're 3-4 cocktails in, a basket of bread and some pasta. And then they said, Christian, I was just going to Wegmans, man. Like my whole day is different now. Yeah. So like I'm a hindrance and it's just because I get really juiced up and I get really, really excited because I care about what I do. And I think it's so important because, like I said, I go home when I go to the bar. Mm-hmm. I care about my home. Yeah. I care about the people there. So it's like, I just get so worked up. I get so excited. I love this stuff, man.
That's awesome. Do you find, because you were telling us a story about, and not to dig too deep, but I thought it was a brilliant way of looking at life, that you feel like you're 2.5 years old. You've kind of had this whole mindset shift, this mentality shift, and it's kind of like this rebirth maybe of you and this new personality going on social media, feeling more comfortable putting yourself out there. And it seems like that's all reciprocating back to you now that you're comfortable being on camera, being in front of people, falling in love with bartending again a year ago. Like, what was that transition like?
So just to clarify the 2.5 years old thing. So my dad passed away 2.5 years ago, and we didn't have like the best relationship, but we had a beautiful relationship. Like it's still something that I hold near and dear to my heart. But after he passed, there was a bit of a disconnect between myself and then myself with the relationship I had with him.
So like your identity had to shift to be more your own man. And
so when I was able to, and sure, he wasn't here anymore, so it was easier to kind of step away from that. But I started gaining my own perspectives, and then that's where I could start taking some of the wisdom from the relationship we had and become my own man, and then find the confidence in myself. I did the 75 hard workout challenge.
Did you?
Yeah, my buddy was going through a hard time, and he wanted to change his life, so he decided to do it. Okay. And I shook his hand. I said, "I'm right there with you." And
that's awesome. You're a good friend for doing that. That's a challenge, man.
He's an even better friend for taking control of his life. You know what I mean? So there's nothing more inspiring than someone else being inspired to just be better.
That's incredible, man.
So, but just to get this off real quick. So during that 75 days, I grieved publicly about my dad. So every day that I woke up, I would post a picture of my dad on Instagram, and I would write every emotion I felt that day, whether it was good, whether it was bad, whether it was indifferent, whether I looked like a fool. But I realized when I posted it on social media, those feelings are now only half mine.
Now it's everybody else's.
Because you have it too.
Wow.
So I only have to carry
what
half
a great
the weight.
insight, man.
And then I think that is where, a lot of, I shed a lot of my insecurities. And some of them stayed, but I got comfortable with them, right? Because when you are willing to put it all out to the world, and it's like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
My good, my bad, my ugly, my indifferent. You can look yourself in the mirror pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
And you can stand pretty firm on that. So then that's kind of where now the confidence of just being like, hey guys, yep, you guys, hey, real easy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not scared to tell you who I am. I'm not scared to tell you what I've been through. And I think that only makes me a solid bartender and helps me in that situation, because when you come in, I understand you might have had a bad day. You might have had the best day of your life. I'm not sure, but let's just share the moment together, because it's very fleeting. So let's enjoy this moment. And when you leave, maybe you'll leave with a smile. Maybe, it could be the difference of if you had a bad moment and walked out the door with a frown and you met that person on the street and they passed by, but you're smiling, they stop and they say, need $1 million? I'm just in the business of I want to hug this world, right? I want to hug the world.
Man.
I want to make sure that everyone knows it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be okay. So that's why I say I'm only 2.5 years old. I'm just learning. I'm learning, but I want to do it with everybody. I think it's important. I think it's easier. If you support me and I support you and we support them and they support us, it only becomes easier.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Wow. Yeah, I'm really big on, even with our band and with this company and just in life, I'm really big on rising tides raise all ships. I love that phrase. And there was a moment when we were starting our music career, specifically in country music 5 years ago. We'd go down to Nashville that is as cutthroat and as competitive.
It's country music scene of the world, pretty much.
Yeah. That's ground zero for music, at least in America. So, I went there as a, naive guy who thought, cool, COVID's over, the place is open for business. Let's go down and record some stuff, meet some people, network. And there were some people that I ran into that didn't have the same mentality that I did, that were, you could tell, very self-absorbed, very wrapped up in themselves, very caged and very closed off. And a lot of times, at first I was like, is that how you have to be to become successful? And I would look at the success certain levels of people had, and we've had interactions with some amazing artists. And, the more that I saw, the bigger people were 95% of the time were the ones that were the most gracious back to us and sent the elevator back down. I was like, all right, I'm confident enough now to be authentically me in the nature of rising tides raise all ships. I can bring that mentality back home. And when a young artist, a young songwriter, a young musician hits us up and says hey, I saw what you did. I would love to hop on a show with you. I'd love to collaborate. That to me is the ultimate sign of mutual respect. And that's the ultimate gift that I can get back in this industry, is when someone sees you authentically put yourself out there, they react to it in kind and vulnerably can reach out to you and say hey, I'm not where you are yet, but I want to be, and I want to go about it the right way by building a relationship first.
And I think it's so important. And thank you again for having me on here. Right?
Of course, man. Yeah.
I'm just Christian. And this whole social media thing and sitting on this couch right now, I feel a little bit bigger than myself. But then I have to give a lot of thanks to you and a lot of thanks to you guys and all that stuff. But that's exactly it. The more we support each other, the easier this all gets.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's not that you're trying to be anything more than Christian, and same for me. Being me is hard enough throughout the day with all the stuff I've going on, but it's the authenticity that shows up. And if you can stay consistent with that, whether it's on social media, whether it's in your life, your business relationships, making a cocktail for someone, the more that you are in tune with yourself and just project authentically what's you out there to other people, the world tends to reciprocate in kind, at least from what I've found.
And I'm starting to find that as well. And it's still a trip to me, right? Sometimes I'll look at my social media and I'm just I don't get it. But someone the other day, actually a few people the other day kept comparing me to Mr. Rogers. I'm 29. I'm not too familiar with Mr. Rogers. Okay?
You don't even know who he is?
No, I know who he is. If you say that, I have to ask for context.
Yeah.
So I'm like, please, just give me like a little bit of information regarding this. And,
oh my God.
The response just made me feel so good, and I think it's a credit to what you were just saying. She gave me the compliment of he had a nice voice. He was easy to listen to. He was always positive. So whether you were old or young, it was just an easy listen.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. My mom thought it was an absolute trip. She was like, no. And then I told her, and she was like, all right, okay, we can do that. That's fine.
That's hilarious, man.
But yeah, regarding these videos, I really only started to stay passionate, stay creative, and kind of talk. I like to do that. So
yeah.
I appreciate that everyone's trying to support me and help as much as they can. I just want to do the same.
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You made a cool comment when we were, kind of chatting before the show started. I want to dive into this a little bit because there's an amazing book that I'm just starting to read called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's having a moment right now on social, but it's just kind of the thought of like going so far beyond in a service relationship. It doesn't matter what industry. It could be hotels, it could be bars, restaurants, it could be music, any industry that you're serving another person, that every detail is so important. And it's like how you do anything is how you do everything kind of a mentality.
I couldn't agree more.
And, it seems like you've made sort of that shift from, just making cocktails to falling in love with the details and the process and the why behind you're making a cocktail. Why does someone even come in and why do they need one? And trying to understand the philosophy or the psychology behind it. So that shift between like service to hospitality, what does that mean for you? Because you lean way into the hospitality end of it, whether you realize it or not.
100%. I pride myself on keeping my corners tight behind the bar. So like you said, you create good habits, things become a little bit easier. I don't think I'm the best bartender in the world. Shoot, I work with better bartenders at Lagrange than myself. That's 100%, no doubt about it. But one thing I do very well for myself is the little things. So making sure you have the water as soon as you sit down. Making sure the first thing you see is a smile and a handshake or a wave. Making sure that the silverware is facing the right way. Making sure you have the steak knife before the steak comes. But then I think one of the tightest corners I have is communication. I'm not a very fast bartender. So when you're really busy, you can lean on communication and allowing people into your process. So one of the corners I'm talking about is, this is a tip for the bartenders out there. You're really busy. Your face is starting to show that you're really, really busy. Use that as a reminder to smile. Okay?
Wow.
And then once you use that as a reminder to smile and you can look up and there's now 7 more guests that just came to the bar and you take a moment and you say, hey folks, I'm going to be right with you. I got like 19 drinks ahead of you, but I promise I'm coming back.
Yeah.
That conversation keeps the corner tight. And what I mean by that is when they have to wait that 10 minutes and you get back to them, they were already expecting that. So I try before the situation happens to do my due diligence to avoid error when the situation happens.
Wow.
And I think that's really what hospitality is. Meeting people's expectations, exceeding expectations, anticipating expectations, and then just caring.
Yeah.
Just caring. And I think if my 4 corners add up to anything, it's that. I care so much. I care about your experience. I care about my craft. No, it's okay. I care about the establishment I work within. So it's, I don't know. I know it's a weird analogy to use, but it works in my brain.
No, not at all. Tell me about the 4 corners thing. It's not a concept that I've heard. What is that? Tell me more about that.
So if I were to like kind of break my job down into just like 4 little aspects, right? Guest services, making a cocktail, being professional, communication with inside of work.
Okay.
if all four of those corners are pretty tight and every day your communication at work is very clear and very intentional and you stay the same personality all the time, your coworkers are going to understand that when you're in the weeds and you're really, really busy and your attitude shifts from this to like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? They understand, right? And then like with all the other corners, it's the same thing. Just like remaining correct and professional and ready at all times and just doing your due diligence to make sure that the pillars of what you need to do for your job are always stuck in the ground with a lot of cement.
Wow. Yeah. Again, you're just dumping all kinds of wisdom on us, man. And, you know, I give you credit because you're a young dude. You've introspectively built this version of yourself and you have nobody else most likely to thank than yourself. You know, I'm sure there were others that influence you or help you build yourself into this, you know, this person that you're becoming. But this is becoming a man, dude. You know,
Yeah, it's sweet. It's cool. But excuse me, no, definitely, I have to give a lot of credit to God. I am a God-fearing man. And
likewise. Good point.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I said, I didn't write this book of life. So if the next chapter is me becoming a man or whatever it is, I didn't write the book. I am just going to read it. And when I read the page, I'm not going to falter on what the page says. I'm just going to finish the page and then I'm going to turn it. So I didn't do it alone. I did it with so much help. And that's one thing that my mom gives me a little bit of crap for. She's like, you work so hard. And it's like, yes, but without you and without Wheezy and without my coworkers and without my friends and without God and without all of these things, I can't be Christian. Without my dad passing, I can't be who I am today. Yeah. And that's just the book of life. So I don't take much credit because my mom and my dad always told me, they said, you move your feet, God will do the work. So I just move my feet.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I wake up and I move my feet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy with who I am. I like who I am.
I like who you are too, buddy. I think Bucks County is going to get to know you more as well as your journey goes on. So tell me more about, we try to put a spotlight on Bucks County.
Yes.
I'm a Holland guy. You're a Holland guy. Yes. I grew up right by Holland Middle School and Hillcrest Elementary. You know, tell me about, I remember so vividly, so many of my friends grew up in Village Shires. And there was the trestle back there. And like we were back in the woods lighting stuff on fire and riding our bikes and going into, at that point, it was Marita's Cantina and Aldo's and
Aldo's is still rocking strong.
That's crazy to me.
If you are in the Bucks County area, Aldo's and Village Shires genuinely might have the best pizza in Bucks County. I will stand on that business. I went to Italy last year, and the first thing I did when I came home was get Aldo's pizza.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and what you're saying, man, I think growing up in Village Shires was probably the greatest thing that has ever happened, and the decision that my parents made to move us up to the Council Rock School District and all that. Dude, playing Manhunt.
Oh,
I just ran into a buddy the other day at a 4th of July party that I grew up with, and I said, Bobby. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Bobby. Bobby, what was your favorite field for us to play baseball in? Because we had 3 different fields in our little neighborhood.
Big meadow?
No, so not even that. We played behind his house where the 3 trees were already in the form of bases, so you just needed a home plate. And then there was, when we grew up, there was a bigger field at the top of our neighborhood.
Okay. Where
you could hit a home run into the woods where the ravine is and all that jazz. Yeah. And then he just looks at me, he's like, dude, what about when we played in the middle of the street with all the cars right there? And we just looked at each other. I was like, yeah, that was the best. He's like, FedEx truck at the top of the street. Yeah, I am so privileged to have that. And then, to have, I remember the Cantina, and now it's El Barrio.
Yeah.
It's a nice little tequila
bar. Shout out to Dave and those guys, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice tequila bar. That's where I learned about Añejo Old Fashions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then talking about Bucks County and talking about El Barrio, on this little quest of social media, I would love to be able to help highlight some of these places. Wow. You know what I mean? And just not because of I think I'm important, but because I think they're great. And if I do have some kind of a platform, I would love to be able to, whether it's go in and share my experience over a meal or be able to hop behind the bar and make a cocktail. Yes, Lagrange, I am always committed to you. But with this brand, I like you're doing it. I want to help people. I want to help Bucks County grow. I think we're in a great spot. I think this is the greatest place to be.
I agree with you, man. No, it's cool, having a very similar shared experience, even though you're half a generation younger than me. I remember so many days where I just set out on my, this is before cell phones. So I was probably 12, in my early teens, maybe even a little younger. I would just take my Harrow bike that had back pegs on it. I would ride from my house through the hills, the neighborhood.
Oh, I know.
I'd cut through that back thing and I'd end up in Village Shires for the day.
It's a trip.
And I wouldn't come home till it was dark out a lot of days. Like all my buddies would just kind of congregate
The
there.
Harrow with the pegs, dude.
The Harrow with that was all the money
all
that
too well.
that we could afford to buy something. Like it was for 2 years. All my buddies had the dyno with the front and back pegs. I was never allowed to get that. And I remember on my, whatever it was, 11th birthday, I got a Harrow with the Harrow TI with the 2 back pegs on it.
You felt like the man.
Oh, that might have well been a Lamborghini when I was that age, But then spending our days over there, all my formative year relationships were formed in that community, man. We were at Aldo's every day with $2.50 for a slice of pizza.
That is awesome.
And then, but yeah, man, it's like all those years and all those memories, just being out doing our thing. Like my childhood comes back to that intersection right there. Playing baseball in those fields, right? Just going knocking door to door of you trying to rally the whole crew and
just trying to shovel some driveways and all that when it snows, dude. Like, it's just such a nice place to grow up, and it's really cool because so I have a nephew that is like a year and a half. He's going to be able to experience the same thing. My brother took over the house that we grew up in, and he's going to be able to play with the kids on the street, and then 20 years from now, look at me and be like, did you do this?
Yes,
I did.
And you're going to say exactly
right.
right.
I did exactly the same stuff, man.
Oh my God.
It's a trip.
Yeah, it is cool. Like, having a little bit of perspective like you have with the Alaska trips and like, your vantage point and your lens and your scope just widens, the aperture on your life just goes from this to this. And we've been really fortunate with music to, play a lot of places around the country. And you get to see other pockets of not only like how people consume music, but just how they go about their day, how they live their life, the mentality. There's certain things about Bucks County to me still that it'll always be home, having grown up here. But even having gone and ventured out, coming back here with this lens and like, this perspective makes home even more special now as an adult.
Couldn't agree more.
So what are some of those things like? Are there places? Are there dishes? Are there restaurants? Are there people? Like, what makes it that thing and makes it special for you now?
Family first always. We'll get the easy one out of the way.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really hard to beat a PA sunset. The sunsets here are gorgeous.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the sky that we get with like still having some of the farmlands and all that. And then remember how I was saying there's that feeling in Alaska?
Mm-hmm.
Home has that feeling.
What is that for you here?
I guess comfortability. Everything's familiar, even though as much as this county's changing and there's so many things and there's a new intersection here and X, Y, and Z, it's just, I've been here before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes, new can be scary and all that, but it's just nice to feel comfortable. Like I've never been in this building before.
Yeah.
But it's all the same.
You know what I mean?
It's all the same. It's all familiar. It's nice to just have a home, I guess. The sense of comfort. Really important. I feel like, not everybody gets that. So we're very privileged. And then to have the community we have is very important to me. So
I agree, man. So on that topic, a lot of times, like when we have people on the show, you have a very unique perspective being in the hospitality industry. I like to ask people like, your favorite dish, favorite cocktail, favorite whatever. I'm going to probably lean into you a little bit heavier to teach Bucks County. Like, give us the crash course on how to eat and drink our way through Bucks County.
I love that.
So I'm not going to say any more about it, but I want you to like, for the audience listening and for me selfishly, because I feel like I go to the same places all the time.
I totally understand. I really do. So this isn't me plugging my work.
Sure. No.
But
Please
so at LaGrange, I do believe we have the best bar program in Bucks County regarding wines, cocktails, and alcohols. That is all due to Wheezy. So if you need a beverage, I do highly suggest coming to LaGrange. With that said, my personal favorite place to go and enjoy my time off is the Churchville Inn.
I love the Churchville Inn.
I think they have the best bartender in Bucks County. His name's Nick. And then they hired a new chef about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and he's really focusing on some of the dishes there. I just recently moved up to this area, and
Where'd you move to?
I'm not gonna say because I get a little worried about the internet from time to time. But
Generally, part of town.
I'm in.
Yeah, we don't need your address.
No, I know. I don't like giving the town out sometimes. I get a little weird with that. But I'm in like the New Hope area.
Okay, so Central Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm around here. But the Wincombe Tavern and Grill, I think it's the old Wincombe house. That's been somewhere that I've been popping into a lot. Their food's incredible. So
Where is that? The Wycombe, you mean, or like
Wycombe?
Wycombe.
Wycombe.
Okay, yeah, I know where that is.
Wycombe house. So Wycombe Tavern and Grill. Yeah. I went with my buddy last night. Bartender suggested the appetizer, the filet and mozzarella.
Really?
Yeah. So it is mozzarella triangles, medium rare filet tips, and then a garlic cream sauce, sauteed spinach, and roasted tomatoes. You got to go. Like, you really got to go.
Okay.
Salt House, great.
Salt House is, we go there. I mean, we're right here, so we walk down once a week.
Incredible.
What dish from the Salt House have you had that you liked, or a cocktail?
Dude, deviled eggs. Like,
Really?
their deviled eggs are to die for. And then I just had their short rib the other day, which was really, really good. For garden cocktails, this is where I'm a trip. People ask me on my social media all the time, what's your favorite cocktail? Bourbon on the rocks.
Really?
Yep.
What kind? What are you going with?
If my pocket can afford it, I'm going Angel's Envy, because like I'll drink a few, you know what I mean? So like I'll do Angel's Envy, Buffalo Trace, Woodford, but then I'm not picky. So a lot of times it'll just be like Bullet or Makers.
Yeah.
And then it's not a disrespect to other bartenders. It's more of a nod, being like, you got other stuff to do. I'm not going to ask you to make me this fancy cocktail. Just ice and liquid. We're going to be all right.
Sometimes simple is the best thing, man. I'm a bourbon guy myself. No. Buffalo Trace for me is perfect. It doesn't need anything.
Honestly, that whole entire distillery, so it's like Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, Blanton's, Sazerac Rye. Like,
yeah.
Love it.
Agreed. Have you ever done the tour? Have you ever gone down there to like
so I need to do the Bourbon Trail. And then I just want to give a quick little shout out to my buddy, the bartender at the Churchville. And so I went in the one day and I'm like, can I have an Eagle Rare Manhattan, like a little more sweet than usual? And he goes, yeah, you can. But I'm just going to give you Eagle Rare on the rocks because I don't want to disrespect it.
Good for him.
And that's how you know he's like, my man, thank you.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, so he gets the bourbon situation too. But have you done the trail?
I've never done it, no. It's something that the older I get, I'm trying to limit the amount of bourbons I'm having because, you know, especially during COVID, I was like, there was nothing going on. World was shut down. Well. And I just felt like I drank a lifetime's worth of, you know, whiskey and bourbon during that phase of my life. So I'm selective now, but in a way that like I'll pick my spots and I'll look so forward to it if I know like
the appreciation's there.
Yeah, like for you, I would look very forward to coming into Lagrange and having you serve me, even if it's just something over ice.
Oh,
you know?
Dude, I would make you the duck fat a Lagrange.
What is that?
So, remember Wheezy, that evil genius I always talk about?
Yeah.
So she does Maker's Mark infused with duck fat, which gives it more of a velvety texture. She has a secret blend of spices that she adds into it, and then you let it cool in the freezer, take the fat off the top, and then we make it with 3 Luxardo cherries, house-made Bordeaux bitters, an ounce of Grand Marnier, and then the Maker's Mark duck fat. You finish off with a nice orange expression, and then you flagship it around a Luxardo cherry and a duck pick.
Oh, dude, my God. What?
Yes, so that's the thing. Like, a lot of folks will come in, they'll be like, oh my God, cocktails with Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at this menu.
It's not me. It's like, this is why.
It's like, this is why I'm here. Like, look at this. So if you came in, I'd have one sitting for you, 100%.
Oh my God, it's a date. I mean, I've never even heard of such a thing. Infusing duck fat into a cup. Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. I was joking with her yesterday. I said, you know, when your son starts stealing alcohol out of the cabinet, he's going to be one lucky boy. She told me last night, I'm drinking lamb fat washed bourbon with X, Y, and Z. I was just like, I love you so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
But yeah.
Yeah, we're drinking, you know, like Popov and like anything we can get our hands on at a young age. But
shoot. he's gonna have a nice little future with what she's whipping up over there.
Wow, man.
But yeah, so if you came in, I'd make you that, and then I kind of just like want to give a shout out to a couple other places.
Yeah, feel free, man. Take us around Bucks County. That's what this is all about.
So, Triple Sun,
Yeah,
in Newtown.
sure. Yeah,
Really, really nice place.
Yep.
They make a lot of their alcohol in house. If you're in the area, you should definitely swing by there. And then I am a massive fan of Stella as well.
really.
Yeah, I really do. And I think people are in relationships. It's a really good date night. And then walking the whole entire strip. Go to Greenhouse. Go to John and Peter's.
Yep.
Like, get the feel for what New Hope really
Yep.
is. So, yeah, definitely take that trip. And then, although I'm not there anymore, the Logan Inn is always, always, always a nice time.
I didn't realize you were there.
Yeah, so I was there for a year. That's actually kind of where I fell in love with bartending and all of that stuff.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But through the social media, someone reached out and I heard about the opportunity at Lagrange, and that's where I am. And I'm not leaving. You know what I mean? I'm not going nowhere.
Huge announcement if you haven't seen last night. He went full Wolf of Wall Street on us. But so, all right. So we got all the places you just mentioned. Too many to name again.
Yeah.
But so food-wise, take me through your top 3, top 5 tour of Bucks County. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can
No,
just
I
be a burger,
understand.
wings, whatever you're eating.
I'm a
man.
simple guy. Like, I really am. Sure, I love, like a nice bougie night out every once in a while. If I do that, I'm going to go to Rocco's.
Okay.
I'm going to get
In
whatever
Newtown?
their dry age special is.
Yep.
Probably have some bullet on the rocks and have a nice night. But then otherwise, I'm like cheesesteaks, pizza, all that kind of good stuff.
Yep.
So Aldo's, we already mentioned,
Yep.
in Village Shires.
That's crazy that you're still going there for pizza. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
I just haven't been there in 20 years.
double back sometime, and I think you're going to be just as impressed as you used to be. Berardi Brothers,
Where's that?
up in Southampton, 2nd Street Pike.
Oh.
So I found
I've had their food before. We were at a
their
party.
cheesesteaks are to die for.
Yeah, they're really good, and the pizza's really good. Is that the place that does? They do like a grandma and grandpa. The
I do
grandpa
believe
is
so.
like the vodka
Yep, I
version.
believe
and
so.
I had it last week, man. It's so good.
Really, really good. And then talking about pizza, another place. I'm upset they don't do slices, but I still love it there. Vince's Pizza and Tap
Oh,
Room.
that's my spot, man.
I love pouring my own beers. Like, it's not,
It's so good.
again, no disrespect to bartenders. I just like doing it. Like, I love my job. So it's like, if I can go to dinner and pour my own beer, shoot.
That's Vince's has a special place in my heart. We grew up obviously in Holland,
Mm-hmm.
but my dad was from Northeast Philly, and my parents had a day camp right at Bustleton and Philmont.
Okay.
So for a long, long time. So we were down in that area a lot, and there was a Vince's on Grant and the Boulevard, or no, Grant and Bustleton. It used to be right off of there.
Mm-hmm.
That we would go. That was like our like celebration spot.
Dude, yeah, it's awesome.
And there was an even older one called Charlie's that was also in the Northeast that we went to a few times. But I mean, we would drive from Holland down there just to go pick up takeout pizza from Vince's.
That's a nice little trip.
So when they opened the Newtown one, they had one in Richboro for a little while,
Okay.
years back. But then they closed. So when they opened the Newtown one, we're like, oh my God.
right here.
Anytime my brother's coming up from DC, we'll go to Vince's because that to us
The
is
nostalgia
like,
of
that's
it.
home.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
I have a similar thing with my family and taking trips. Have you ever had Santucci's?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So my dad grew up in Kensington, like way back in the day. So like he
square
would
pie?
always, square
Yeah.
pie. And he'd always talk about like, we're going to the original Santucci's on O Street. And it's like, to this day, I'll think about like the at-home bake it yourself
Yep.
Santucci's pie. So I know that's not Bucks County, but
I
no,
mean,
they put one
it's
up in Warminster.
Yeah, well, they have
put
one on
up
Street
in
Road in Warminster. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
right on. Comes full circle. That's nice.
Yeah, man. So I got to ask you this question because I'm a big, I love wings. This is a debate. It's personal. It's subjective, but I found one order of buffalo wings that is, I think, above everything else. And it's
Where?
my spot is the Gardenville Inn.
Never even heard of
You
it.
never heard of the Gardenville?
No, I love this.
Oh man. All right. So when we were we had an office prior to here that was on Durham Road, right in, I don't even know what you call it. I guess Buckingham-ish.
Okay.
And we just started ordering from the spot. It's called the Gardenville Inn or the Gardenville Hotel, right at the corner of like Point Pleasant Pike and I guess 413 Durham Road. I popped in there one night and I just happened to order wings. And
To die for.
oh my God, they're like, they're fried so they're crispy, but their sauce they have a couple different sauces, but their house sauce is like
A good
a
buffalo
little bit
sauce can
hot,
change
a
everything.
little bit sweet. There's something in it that I swear is illegal that they shouldn't be putting in food, but it's like, it's so next level.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Shout out to Gardenville Inn.
Dude,
They're
now
like
that you got me like thinking about food, there's so many places. So, Bocce in Doylestown,
for
and
sure.
then the
Yeah.
pub underneath is Heart of Oak.
Yep.
I'm a nice dive bar guy, so like sitting down there, it feels like that. But then you can order fine Italian food from upstairs.
From the upstairs. Yep.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it. And then I've only been there like 5 or 6 times. But La Stala's lobster raviolis
Oh
in
my God.
specific
Yeah.
are like one of my favorite meals in this life.
Shout out to Mark and the La Stala team, man.
Do you have a favorite dessert? Like a preferred?
You know what's funny? I'm not the guy that like knows desserts,
Okay.
but I'll never turn it down. My favorite dessert is key lime pie. And I have a high bar because we've played the Key West Songwriter Fest a bunch of times. And when we go down there, whoever goes with us after shows, we'll do a key lime pie tour, and we'll just hit every spot in Key West and try their key lime pie.
So you know the best of the best for real.
So I've been very spoiled and have a very high bar. This is going to sound ridiculous. The closest thing I've ever had to it is Edwards key lime pie in the freezer section at whatever grocery store you can get it at.
Look, Marie's calendar sometimes, you know what I mean?
right?
Like it works. It
Yeah.
works. But
So if you're in Bucks County and you have a recommendation for a good key lime pie, me and my daughter, I promise you, will go seek it out.
I don't have a good recommendation for straight key lime pie, but I am like a diehard macaroon fan.
Okay.
The Ferry Street Market, I do believe they do key lime pie macaroons. And
Whoa. Okay.
I'm a big, like, if I go get macaroons, I'll just order one of each flavor
you
just
have to.
because
Just try them all.
you have to. And it's a really hard process to make them. So I usually give them my money's worth. But that, like, if I'm going to get dessert in Bucks County, I am going to go to the Ferry Street Market and I'm going to spend like $100 on macaroons.
That's like 7 macaroons.
Literally, dude. It's like, she usually gives you like a half of one just as a good luck. You know what I mean? It's like a baker's dozen for them.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it would be cool if they did
Yeah,
that, but
yeah, macaroons are they're my go-to. And if you're in the Bucks County area, don't drive to Philadelphia. Just go to the Ferry Street Market.
that's awesome, man. There's another, my kids love macaroons. There's another good spot in the Doylestown, in that marketplace in there. I forget what the name of the company is that makes them, but they have their own macaroon thing.
Okay.
And
I'll have to check it out.
they're so good. They're pricey. You pay for what you get because they produce them and make them the right way. But,
I care about them.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I care about them the same way I care about bartending.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
I love it, brother.
that's pretty much my story, man.
So final couple questions before
Yeah.
we wrap up. First of all, you answered the one that I ask everybody because you took us on a tour around Bucks County,
Yeah.
food and drink and dessert. Second is, we're musicians, obviously. That's why this whole thing kind of started. If I were to open Spotify on your phone right now, who you listening to today?
Clips, Pusha T and Malice. I'm a big rap fan.
Wow.
Big rap fan.
They just did something at the Vatican, I saw,
Yes,
didn't they?
did. And like to
That was so killer to see that.
yeah, it's really cool, especially because I've always been a hip hop fan and all of that. And then to see 2 artists like that get that position at the Vatican, that's a really nice nod to hip hop. So
Oh
it
my
was
God.
cool. It was really cool to see.
I kind of grew up in that era where they had Grindin' that just came out. I mean, it's probably I was in high
wish
school.
if I was 16 when that came out, I couldn't imagine what my life would have turned out to be.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, 16 for me was Subwoofer in the Trunk and anything that Slim Shady put out.
Yep.
Clips was a huge part of that too, because like that album, man, it's
Monumental.
crazy.
Yeah. So,
It
but
was
then
just different than anything we'd ever heard before.
I got it. If people are going to watch this, they have to know this about me. I am like a J. Cole stan.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to 23 J. Cole concerts.
No kidding. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I credit him to a lot of also like my perspectives and things like that. His music, like during my relationship with my pops and all that jazz, his music seemed to always come at a good time. So if I'm on here, he's going to get my nod for sure.
I got to
For
dive.
sure.
Where, for someone on the outside, where would you start me off? I know of his music. I've never done
I
it.
would start you off on the last track of For Your Eyes Only, the album, and it's called For Your Eyes Only. It's like a 9-minute song, but you'll feel every emotion.
I love that.
Like he'll take you more on, and that's my thing. It's hard to just be like, listen to this rap song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's very subjective, and then like you have to be in a certain the story's there, the wordplay's there, the emotion's there. So For Your Eyes Only by J. Cole.
That's a beautiful thing, man. I'm going to check that out. Yeah, it doesn't matter for me what genre of music or art or, hospitality. It doesn't matter.
being a
If someone pours themselves into it and you can feel the emotion and the authenticity, I'm there.
And then I think after you listen and knowing my story, it's gonna click as soon as the song ends. You're gonna be like, oh wow, yeah, okay.
We might have to throw it on as the end credits, but we'll get banned from YouTube.
No, I get that. Yeah.
Awesome. So last question we ask everybody. You've sort of talked about this a little bit. Tell listeners something about Bucks County that only a local would know, someone that grew up here, built a business here. Because a lot of people, I'll give you the perspective. A lot of people, especially in New Hope in this area now, it's become like this secondary Hamptons, like an escape for people in New York City. It's kind of getting on the map a little bit. What's something about Bucks County that only someone like us would know as a reason to try it out or come here and visit?
Ooh, that's a great question. Minus the school district, because obviously that's just the best.
Yep.
But I think we're up and coming. I think we're slowly going to turn into a small city due to the money that's always been here and is still coming in. But we're still probably going to keep the integrity of what we are, which is like really the farmland. And there's a really nice sense of camaraderie. Even though things are expanding, it seems that businesses are starting to work more together. And then everything's becoming a little bit more close-knit, even though it's getting larger. So I would just say, like, the camaraderie and then the beauty of it. Like, if someone wants to move here, it's gorgeous.
It is.
Here.
Especially in the fall, man, with the foliage and the trees and stuff.
Are you a haunted house guy? You going to take the girls?
My wife loves them.
Okay.
So I'll be along for the ride for the hay rides and all the stuff this fall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, look, I feel really blessed to have you on and be able to tell your story. That's what this is all about, man. There's so many unique people that on the surface you see on social media, you see in a restaurant, you see in a bar, see on stage somewhere. But highlighting the stories of people that have come into their own and built a life, a business, a career here is what this is all about. You're a hell of an example of what we're trying to do, man.
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man. Christian Duffy, everybody. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much, everybody.